What's poppin', y'all? This is DJ with One Shot Game, man. You already know how the motto go. You get one shot at life, but a lifetime to learn all the game you need to help improve your life. The choice is yours on which route you choose to take. Now, as I always say, you get two choices: the ability to settle in the life that has been faithfully designed for you, or the ability to create a path towards your destiny. That choice is also up to you. So before I get into the title of my video, I want to say a big shout out to all my supporters. You guys are great. And even the ones behind the scenes, I see y'all too. So, hey, look, top of the top, it's Monday. I actually got something that I'm about to do, but something ran across my mind that I feel as if, you know what I'm saying, I need to record for the people. And you know, when I do give my videos, they're always just off of experience of my life, you know, and how I went through the war, but I came out on the other side just trying to show love. You know what I'm saying? And love to me is being able to accept the fact when you may be going the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? And having someone show you or let you know, hey, it's a different way to better improve your life expectancy for yourself, the people you love, and everybody around you. You know what I'm saying? We're not young anymore. We are actually very much older. You know what I'm saying? And being that that's the case, I'm going to give people a little background on how oftentimes I'm a Cancer gang, right? And the label we get a lot is the fact that we cry babies. And I think the total opposite. I think it's because we're very much in tune with our emotions, you know, and trust and believe. Listen, it was a lifelong process for me. I had to learn how to get in touch with my emotions. And I say that to say, like, when you show an emotion, usually it's something in the soul that you feel that is also tailored to that emotion. But when you are someone that takes the things that have happened to you and change them into a space of war, oftentimes there are no emotion behind the emotion. It's just plain showing emotion on cue so you can get the reaction from another person that you need, because you're assuming that's the emotion and the way you're supposed to act to get the reaction that you need. I see it so much in life, you know what I'm saying? And I don't think I know that's purely from coming from a war space. People are trained not to be emotional because it's coming from a war space. And that just means that something they went through in their life, they have not gotten over or healed from. So their emotions are on cue for the satisfaction and trust of someone else, not necessarily because they are feeling that exact emotion at that time. And I'm explaining to you how, you know, it's a growing process. It's something you tend to develop more and more as you grow. Like, I always knew as a young kid that I was someone that was sensitive. But as you go through life and you experience things, especially from the people I was raised by, it wasn't okay to show emotions, especially if you weren't getting the desired results out of someone. Just to be showing emotion because you feel some type of way was not okay. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like teaches you how to have this hard persona on, but at the same time, it could shield you from actually showing true emotion. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to just explain a scenario where it hardened me but made me stronger at the same time. But once I got in touch with who I am and got myself back, I was able to actually express emotion from a place where I actually felt the emotions behind it. But it took me a long time to get there. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, having the first real experience of my life is when my brother passed away, right? Same mama, same daddy. I basically grew up with this young man all my life. You know what I'm saying? I have a little sister, but she was not born until I was 17. So when he passed, and the initial emotional reaction I felt when my grandma came and told me, I felt it. I was crying. I was emotionally upset. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of emotion behind that. I felt like I almost lost a piece of my body for the simple fact I was crying and I was emotional, but I was blacked out, if that makes sense. I had no recollection of where I was. You know what I'm saying? But I knew I was crying because at that point in time, a piece of my soul was snatched from me. You know what I'm saying? But in the midst of that, I think after that day, I became hardened. You know what I'm saying? I became completely numb to having to live life without the one person in my life that, you know what I'm saying, I know was always going to be there for me regardless, no matter what I went through. You know what I'm saying? Because he expressed it to me in so many ways. No matter what choice I chose to make in life, he was always there and supportive of my choice. So having to live life without that person that you formed a bond with, sometimes for some people it can make them numb. And for me, it was being emotionally numb. And to be able to express it now is a feeling of love, because back then I wasn't able to express what I was feeling. You know what I'm saying? But I know I was numb. I know I didn't care about what I was doing and how it affected other people. You either were going to stick around or you're going to leave. It don't really bother me, no difference. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going through something and I'm going to act out physically in the way that I feel is comfortable for me. So I ain't gonna lie, I started diving more into substances. You know what I'm saying? Weed being my drug of choice. You know what I'm saying? Again, I expressed in previous videos how it may look like I was on serious drugs, but I wasn't. I was just very spiritually inclined to the world that was slowly killing us. On top of the weed, I was killing myself. You know what I'm saying? So that being the case, when the funeral came, you know what I'm saying? And it for me, it was a performance for me in front of people. Like, I knew that I had to be crying because people were around. And if I wasn't crying, they were gonna think that something was wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? But I kid you not, to this day, it sounded like theatrics, because of course we had someone record it, and for the first 2 to 3 years I would watch the DVD. I sounded like something straight out of a movie. And now that I'm older, I realize, because at that moment it was no emotion behind it. I was simply crying on cue, because I know that's what I was supposed to be doing in this setting. And if I wasn't crying, people would have thought something was insanely wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a point in my life where I lost the ability to emotionally feel anything that I was doing as a threat, because that was extensive for me. That was a lot. That was hard to process emotionally. It like damaged my central nervous system. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's so tricky because it made me harden to things that I probably should have been crying, or I probably should have showed an emotion, but I didn't show none. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of complex, but I feel as if sometimes you lose yourself in that. You know what I'm saying? You lose the ability to be yourself because you're trying to process how the fact something like that happened. Not only that, it's a part of your soul. So my life from that point on, I just felt nothing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel anything. Like, nothing made me mad, nothing made me upset, nothing made me cry, nothing made me emotional. And I'm a Cancer. Listen, emotions is my thing. But it wasn't until I found myself and got who I was back that I was able to actually understand that it's nothing wrong with being emotional. You know, so for me now, I have no problem with being emotional. If something makes me cry, I'm gonna cry. If something makes me angry, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna be calm enough to talk it out and have a conversation with you so you can check your behavior and not to do it to me again, because those actions make me upset. You get what I'm saying? So it's a very complex thing in the world to deal with, because when a person is understanding who they are, oftentimes their emotions are all over the place. They don't really know how to display emotions. They only do it to get the reaction of other people, not because it's something that they truly feel. And I feel like that takes a part of you away because you operate out of war. Whether you want to admit it or not, you feel me? You're still holding on to that pain. You're still haven't healed. So you have no emotions because you still want to go after war for the people that hurt you. You know what I'm saying? It's a very real thing. And so for me personally, it was like I turned that into love. But I had to experience the war part of myself first. And it wasn't me actually wanting to go out and hurt nobody or do damage to people that hurt me or display what I felt onto others. It wasn't like that. It was more so like, I'm going to do whatever is necessary for me to be content at this moment. So if I'm smoking like a chimney, please don't bother me and tell me to stop smoking, because I'm not. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not taking care of myself as far as hygiene and eating right and sleeping right, don't tell me what I should be doing, because right now I'm not gonna be able to do that. You feel me? I'm not gonna display my emotions onto someone else, but I'm gonna hurt my own self, because right now I'm in pain. And it's so much pain that I can't explain it to nobody. So if you choose to be around me, okay. You feel me? But if you don't, that's fine too. You know what I'm saying? So now as I have grown in my life, I don't operate out of war. You know what I'm saying? I don't operate from a space where I hurt so bad that I will do anything I can to make people feel where my pain is. But I'm so skilled at showing emotion just to get a reaction out of a human, not necessarily because I feel anything. You know what I'm saying? So let's rewind it back and let's get clear. Cancers, I feel the reason why we're labeled with that crybaby mentality or label is because we're very in touch with our emotions. But if hurt enough, sometimes that ability can be stolen from us, and you have to be willing to find yourself to be able to, you know what I'm saying, get it back. And now I just operate out of a love space 24/7. You know what I'm saying? You should be through enough things in your life to where if I tell you the truth about who you are, you can take it without letting your emotions go erratically out of control. If they go erratically out of control, you haven't truly found yourself. And it's something deep inside of you that you were never taught how to handle your emotions, that is making you feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? Because when a person finally brings the truth to you, you should be able to accept that, because it's helping you be better and it's out of a love space. You know what I'm saying? I operate only from out of love, which means I'm going to tell you when you're wrong, and I'm not going to get mad when somebody's telling me when I'm moving wrong, simply because I may not know. I thought how I was moving was the right way to move. So you giving me some constructive criticism to help me move forward. You know what I'm saying? But you have to realize how strong that emotion of moving out of war is. So strong. And you can see it in people, because it won't be long before they show you their true colors. Listen, when you are able to be in touch with your emotions, you feel things on a deeper level. Like your emotion you display physically matches up to what you feel internally. There are people that are so skilled at war and wanting to give people back the pain that they felt, that those emotions do not come with any emotion. It is just an emotion that they've learned to be skilled to do on cue, so that it can get the reaction from somebody that they want, until they're taught how to understand that you cannot act out in that way to get what you want. It's not going to work. And that, I feel, comes from somebody who's emotionally in tune with who they are. You know what I'm saying? Because it brings back that ability to feel. It's nothing wrong with feeling. It's nothing wrong with, you know what I'm saying, processing how you feel. I think that's the part of life that they seem to take out from people, to make them harden, but it can also cripple your life in the same sense, you know? And again, just going back, I went to prison, and when I did, you know what I'm saying, I had a thought as I was in the shower of thinking to myself, if my brother was still alive, the life he was living, he probably would have ended up in my same shoes. And that ain't cool either, because you can't see them. You know what I'm saying? You can talk to them on the phone, but if you ain't got the money, that ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes the emotions of other people in there can affect your personality and make you come out worse than you were when you went in. That's not the motto. That's not how it's supposed to go. But oftentimes that's how it is. You know what I'm saying? So the emotion I felt behind it was a real thing. You know what I'm saying? And I started to learn that there is nothing wrong with being in touch with your feeling. People that operate on cue and show emotion on cue, they are at war with whoever hurt them. You know what I'm saying? Deep down inside. And trust me, when they get a chance to display that anger, they will. And it shows you things that they try so hard to hide. You know what I'm saying? It's very visible on the forefront. And that's why oftentimes it's something that is a blessing and a curse at the same time. Because when you're so caught up in being at war, you tend to dismiss the parts of what make you truly you, because you don't want nobody to see them for real. You feel me? But when you operate out of love, you can see the parts of people that almost killed them for real. Change them into a person that don't operate out of love. They operate out of pure war. And anything they do is solely just to get the reaction from somebody that they want. It's not truly them for real. You feel me? It's almost as if something snatched their soul and they ain't got it back. You know what I'm saying? But it's a learning process. I'm not here to shield anybody. I'm not here to, you know what I'm saying, look down on nobody. But for me to be able to understand when a person genuinely is in touch with their feelings versus using a skilled emotion because you've studied how that's how you're supposed to act in a situation, means I'm confused on how you would really act in a situation. Are you really at war with yourself? Meaning you'll do whatever you need to do to hurt someone else? Or is it really you for real? Meaning you have the empathy to feel, to understand how someone else would feel in those shoes. Because if you don't have that, that means you will do anything you can to get ahead, which means I gotta watch out. I gotta be careful for you. Because if you could cut me out, you would. You're at war, which means everybody's a target. You know what I'm saying? And usually it comes from not being able to process the emotions with the person that first hurt you. You weren't skilled at how to understand how to process that. And so you hid them deep down, and now they come out when someone triggers you. You know what I'm saying? Listen, it's so real. So don't underestimate it. You know what I'm saying? Because that'll give you a clear visual of what you need to do to protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn who I was. Because again, when my brother was killed, I didn't come from a war space, but I numbed my whole nervous system. So I couldn't give you the emotions you wanted me to give you because I was so numb that they wouldn't have come out. You know what I'm saying? But once I started getting myself back from people that are skilled at war and not love, I started to feel again. And when I did that, I'm now able to place myself in other people's shoes. You know what I'm saying? To protect myself. You know? Not to enforce nothing. Not to, you know what I'm saying, say you got to operate like this and move like this, because I really don't give a damn how you choose to operate in your life. But I know that how I choose to operate is what's going to keep me alive. You know what I'm saying? Because there are some people out there that are so skilled at war that everybody is a suspect. You know what I'm saying? But they have to hide it, otherwise they wouldn't have any targets to play with, and that's no fun. You know what I'm saying? So listen, this is just some game for the people that may target people that have a deep sense of feeling and being in touch with who they are, to where they show empathy. You know what I'm saying? And oftentimes those are little children. They're not skilled at war. They were born skilled with love. But as they go through life, if the people raising them are skilled at war, they're eventually going to turn into people that are skilled at war as well. And that's how the whole world gets corrupted. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's skilled at war, that don't nobody know how to love. Everybody just in it for themselves, that they'll do whatever they can to step on somebody else's toes to get ahead. You know what I'm saying? But it's a way that you can naturally get it, and you don't got to be skilled at war. You just got to be skilled at love, which means you got to love yourself first and forgive the initial, you know what I'm saying, person that hurt you, because they know not what they do. You know what I'm saying? That shit passed down from generations to generations. And oftentimes we don't ask questions about the people before us because we too busy trying to fake emotions to the people in front of us so we could get what we want. That you're blind. You know what I'm saying? And the blind can't lead the blind if this world is turning into a world where we operate out of love. You can still become successful. You can still have everything you want by operating out of love. But if you choose to operate in war, there's someone out there more skilled at war than you are. You know what I'm saying? And you might cross paths with them, and it might not be in your best motive. You know what I'm saying? To be skilled at war. Because these streets don't love nobody, and they ain't safe. And trust and believe that when people are skilled at war, they target people. You know what I'm saying? But what if that person is wearing a disguise just so they can trick you into thinking that they are a target, when in reality they are skilled at war just like you are? And then you get yourself in a situation you can't get out of. It's dangerous. It ain't safe. You know what I'm saying? But know and understand that there is nothing wrong with being in touch with your feelings, being in touch with the sensitive side of yourself. Out here being hard all the time and just displaying emotions because you know that's what people expect you to do. Listen, it's someone out there that knows the art and science of it, and they could be the people that take people's lives just because, you know, they target people that fake display emotions. They're not really, you know what I'm saying, having any empathy to what they've already experienced or feeling, being able to process what somebody else may feel. That connection right there is how you connect with people in general. You know what I'm saying? And it's how you get an understanding that maybe what they know and the science they have can help push you in a direction you never seen possible for yourself. It's now time to develop and grow. So you have to break out of the war zone. And that means you got to get through the war with love, not really for real being unhealed so you're skilled at the art of war, you know, because it's dangerous. It ain't safe. And a lot of people that came out of the war that are skilled at love, listen, the people before them, they're very skilled at war, and they don't play no games. And you will reap what you sow. You know what I'm saying? Simply because they're the ones that came out of the war with love instead of facing war with war. That's what we in right now. The war versus war. And that's why it's so dangerous out here, because everybody is coming from a place of unhealed mentalities and skilled at war. And anybody that look like they may be skilled at love, that's their first targets. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna make you feel so low about yourself that you eventually turn into a person that's skilled at war as well. So protect yourself, because it ain't safe. You know what I'm saying? So listen, if you don't know what it is, I just told you. Please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe.